baby action. Video. He made $1 million shot and they didn't want to pay him. Let's get to it.
You see this guy right
I'd
here?
be sick.
This is Don Calhoun.
He's a big Bulls fan, and
Don
he's about
Calhoun.
to do something that will change his entire life.
$1 million in the 90s is crazy too.
$1 million? That young man being hugged has just won $1 million.
And he got a hug by Michael Jordan.
Here at Chicago Stadium.
Don just hit a
crazy.
shot from 80 feet out, a 3/4 court shot. His prize for nailing this absolute bomb, $1 million.
Damn.
He can't believe it. Fans erupt. Don joins the Bulls.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button right now, bro. We're 10,000 subscribers. I need everyone's watching the video to help me out. You can help me a lot. If everyone is watching this video, hit the subscribe button. We're getting close.
As they celebrate his victory, Michael
We're
Jordan throws
manifesting
his
it.
arm around Don and congratulates him. Good shot, kid. Don had just done the impossible. And with the game ball in one hand, $1 million check in the other, Don Calhoun did it. He was set.
$1 million
Except
check.
he wasn't. Due to a technicality in the rules of this contest, the insurance company that was
Hell no. Absolutely no, bro. I'm getting my money, bro.
required to make the payoff claimed they simply didn't have to pay the man. Don hit $1 million shot for absolutely nothing.
Bro, somebody finna pay me my money. I'm getting my money. Or I'm getting my money's worth. One of the two.
Today's video is sponsored by
Shout out to SeatGeek, man.
rated any and a rating bad deal steals you over with $1 million on the line. Do you think you could sink a three-pointer?
Yep.
Pretty incredible consolation
I
for
do.
one simple shot, but no one in their right mind would ever offer such a prize for making a single three-pointer. Except they did. Back in the 90s, during NBA All-Star Weekend, the league and a sponsoring company such as Foot Locker, American Express, Sony would host a contest for fans, the NBA's $1 million shot. It was one of the most anticipated side events of the entire weekend, and out of the
crazy.
millions of fans who entered to win a shot, only one would be chosen to take it. Get selected, make a three-pointer, win $1 million. An opportunity of a lifetime for 4 lucky contestants that were selected over the 4 years that the NBA
They need to
hosted
bring
the
that back,
contest.
bro.
And to aid them in their quest for $1 million shot, each contestant was joined by a former or active NBA player to give them pointers and advice.
Who's
In
that?
1996, among the 6 million entries, 17-year-old Demetrius Houston was selected to take the $1 million shot. With George Gervin by his side and 17,000 fans looking on,
This guy's old
Demetrius
now.
lines up his shot.
Like
And with $1
an
million
old head.
on the line,
Misses it.
he clanks it off the backboard. Gervin tells the kid not to worry about it, but I'm sure he did. In 1997,
Damn.
a man named Jim Valente was
Bro, I know there's no way I'm missing this shot. There's no way. $1 million on the line, I'm clutch. I'm that guy, bro. When it comes to clutchness and I need something, I'm that guy. I'm that guy, bro.
selected to take
Bro,
the $1 million shot.
I'm
His
that
host
guy.
and mentor for the event, NBA
I prefer him better under the clutch. I prefer him better under crunch time. I'm him. Don't get it twisted. Nothing on the line, I'll probably miss 10 in a row. $1 million on the line, I'll hit 10 in a row. Fuck is you talking about?
legend Oscar
Bro, I'm
Robertson,
him.
a man who
That's
literally
bro.
never made a three-pointer in his entire NBA career.
The hell?
But Jim was focused. It was his wife's birthday, and what better birthday gift than $1 million check? So Jim steps up to the line. He's ready. The ways in which he'll spend
I
$1
would
million
get a catch and shoot,
already
bro.
racing through his mind. I'll get that Corvette I've always wanted. That'd sure look good in a Rolex. We could really use a new deck out back. Maybe I'll get a boat.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe you'll get nothing. After the shot, Craig Sager asked Jim about his experience. $1 million. Gone. What went wrong, Jim? Give us some insight.
How did you feel at the time? What went wrong? I think I just pushed it a little to the right.
You did more than that, buddy.
In 1998, a contestant named Sol Holkman was selected to take the shot. And for the first time in the contest history, a contestant actually hit the rim.
Damn.
Another year, another $1 million miss. But of all these $1 million shot events, none managed to top the one that started it all in 1995. The contestant that was chosen, 16-year-old Mike Hoban. For weeks leading up to
This
the
guy's
contest,
actually
Mike
old.
spent 2 hours
He's
a day
40-something.
every day shooting three-pointers. Accompanied by all-star Dan Marley, Mike was locked in.
Never heard of
Going
Dan
through the
Marley.
most meticulous shooting routine you'll ever see in your life, Mike prepares his shot by, quote, becoming one with the basket. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled a microscope out and studied the hoop to better his odds. Now he's taking phantom shots. His routine is becoming more unhinged by the second. But it
this
works
dude-
for
if
him.
he misses
Friends
this, he's
and
going-
family look on,
he's gonna get
watching
bullied
him
when he goes
live
back
on
to school.
TV, ready to witness history unfold. Mike is ready.
And what I mean is
He
I'm
lines up
bullying
the
him if
shot.
he misses his shot.
He shoots. And misses the rim by 2 feet.
I'm
An air
bullying
ball.
him.
The poor kid is devastated. Friends and family are stunned. All
I'm
the while, the
personally-
commentator of the event doing his best to help, but instead just pours on a slew of more disappointment in the process.
I'm personally making sure he cries about it every day for the rest of school.
And $1 million. The good news is, though, he doesn't win money, doesn't become a pro, and his college scholarship hopes stay alive. He'll go back to be the post-up player for his junior varsity team.
After the shot, Sager interviews the kid, where he has the bright idea of just asking for one more shot.
I wasn't really in that zone I wanted to be in, but, you know, one more shot. You would like one more shot, wouldn't you? Man, I would love another shot.
You'd like one more shot, wouldn't you? Mike never got another shot. 4 contestants, $1 million on the line for 1 three-pointer.
Man, I like one
and
more shot.
0
You're gonna
wins.
miss it, buddy. Shut
and
up.
looking back on these contests, it's pretty remarkable that no one hit their $1 million shot. Because countless fans and contestants have hit much more difficult shots for far less money. We've all seen these contests unfold in person. A fan gets randomly chosen out of the stands to come down and try to hit a half-court shot. The prize money nowhere near $1 million. Usually the prize is $10,000 or maybe $20,000 or a car. This Mavericks fan hit a layup, a free throw, a three-pointer, and a half-court shot in sequence without missing. An anomaly of events in this context. His
Damn.
reward for the incredible feat, $3,000 worth of gift cards to a local furniture store. But it gets worse. Because at a Mavs game a few years later, this woman was put to the task of sinking a half-court shot. She's rocking the dirt gear, she's feeling good, beautiful form, and drills the shot. Nothing but
my
net.
gosh.
What was her prize for pulling this off, you ask? A 65-inch flat-screen TV.
Mark Cuban, up the price and stop being cheap. Mark Cuban, up the price and stop being cheap.
Absolutely appalling. This guy managed to drill a half-court shot at a Blazers game years ago and won round-trip tickets to anywhere of his choice. A pretty unlikely shot from the guy, but far from impossible. What is impossible, however, is the fact that another fan hit the same exact shot 30 seconds later.
Damn.
It's clear that some people actually make these shots. So what would happen if someone actually did hit a $1 million shot? What if instead of shelling out some gift cards or a flat screen TV, a team had to actually hand over a 7-figure check to one lucky fan? It's April 14th, 1993. The Bulls are facing the Heat in
that's a long
Chicago.
ass time
The
ago.
Bulls are on a roll coming into the matchup on a 3-game win streak. By halftime, Chicago is up by 14. Jordan is killing the Heat, 22 points in the first half. It's a great time for home fans as usual, but the real spectacle is about to take place. Throughout the 93 season, the Bulls hosted a promotion for their fans. Among the 18,000 fans in attendance for any given home game, one lucky individual would be chosen to shoot a 3/4 court shot to win $1 million. At the time,
Damn.
and to this day,
I'm already putting it in the bets. They say he shot it with one hand instead of two. And that was a technicality or something like that. Or he got 1 foot past 75 feet. It's gonna be something crazy like that.
a $1 million cash prize for such an event is unheard of. But the odds of such a shot going in are so astronomically unlikely that the Bulls and the insurance company that would be responsible for paying out the prize money felt comfortable running the event anyways. Leading up to that Heat matchup, 19 lucky fans had attempted the halftime $1 million shot. Of the 19, 2 hit the backboard, 16 were air balls, and just 1 even hit the rim. An estimate of a fan chosen at random hitting this shot, less than 1%.
Damn.
And so a member of the Bulls organization went into the crowd and selected a 23-year-old local by the name of Don Calhoun. The reason for selecting him, his shoes wouldn't scuff up the floor. Hopeful, but understanding the slim odds for selecting him, his shoes wouldn't scuff up the floor. Hopeful, but understanding the slim odds that he faced, Don walked down to the court and prepared to take his shot. A fun halftime gimmick, something to keep the fans involved. They just slapped $1 million on there to get everyone excited, but no one will ever hit the shot anyways. Chris Hammond, vice president of SCA Promotions, a leader in the promotional contest industry, looks back on the shot saying, "The perfect contest is like the most tempting carnival game. Just feasible enough to make people think they can do it while actually being extremely difficult.
Right.
You could have Steph Curry out there and still make money." Well, Mr. Hammond, it's time to pay up.
Damn. Talk about clutch. Ice in his veins.
That young man being hugged has just won $1 million here in Chicago.
And he got hugged by Michael Jordan.
Don Calhoun of Bloomington, Illinois, a $1 million thrill.
In what is possibly the most inconceivable occurrence to ever happen on an NBA court, Don Calhoun drilled an 80-foot shot for $1 million. The whole place goes nuts. For a moment, it's like Don is part of this Bulls team and they just won another championship. Even the ref of the game comes over to congratulate him. The man just did the impossible. $1 million.
That's crazy.
That's more than half the guys on this roster made that year. And with the job complete, Don heads over to snap a photo with the check in one hand and the game ball in the other. He did it.
Damn.
At least that's what he thought. See,
Everyone
these
thought.
promotions are combed through meticulously by some of the best lawyers money can buy. The rules and restrictions are tight. Break one of them and you can kiss those winnings goodbye.
Damn.
Don Calhoun broke one of the rules. Not intentionally or anything, but among the stipulations of this promotion, one of them states that the contestant could not have played organized basketball within 5 years of the contest. And just...
Brother, that shit is nuts. That shit is nuts. Oh my gosh. Bro, if I'm Don Calhoun, bro, I'm fighting one of these lawyers, bro, and I'm decking him dead in this shit, bro. I do not care.
3 years prior to this contest, Don was a member of the Triton Community Basketball Team. The contest people knew this. Don acknowledged this by marking the information on the contest form. But the contest people shrugged it off and gave him the shot anyways. The insurance people, however, did not. To them, it was a clear breach of the rules. Don should have never been selected in the first place, and so the insurance company of the event disqualified Don out of his shot and out of his $1 million.
That's crazy.
When news broke that the now local legend would not be receiving his money, fans were livid. As reports on the event grew, fan outrage grew with it. And within a week, the Bulls organization was under so much local pressure that they held a press conference announcing that they actually had a change of heart and they would pay up. A very strange and inexplicable decision considering their stance just a few days prior. Don's $1 million split into 20 payments over the next 20 years. His first check for $50,000 was sent out that week. Technically,
Wait, hold the fuck up. Got cut out of because the mic went out, but you know, fuck. This is what we left off on. He made $1 million. Blah 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 blah. They didn't want to pay him, and now blah 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 blah.
rules were broken, but Don was getting paid, and he had no idea how or why.
This is crazy.
A year after his miraculous shot, Don heard that
yeah, that's what I was doing. I had sidetracked. They said he's getting 20 payments of $50,000 because this is crazy as hell. I'm trying to figure. That don't sound like $1 million. 20 times 50,000. It's $1 million. I'm tripping.
Jordan would be in the area for one of his son's basketball games. A perfect opportunity for Don to get his $1 million game ball signed. So Don pulled up to the game in search of Michael, but with security flocking the NBA star, no fans were getting anywhere near him. But Don wasn't just an ordinary fan. He's the guy who hit the $1 million shot. Jordan recognized him in the stands and had security bring him over after the game. And with his ball in hand, hoping to get an autograph, Don approached Michael. But MJ didn't call him over to give him an autograph. Instead, he had to ask Don a question. Did you get your money? A year after the Bulls had their change of heart and decided to pay him his money, Don finally got an answer why. Turns out the insurance company wasn't the one who paid Don. They never intended to. After hearing about what the insurance company was trying to pull, Michael Jordan, along with other players on the Bulls, told ownership they needed to pay up. And so the organization did, out of their own pockets. Legally, the parties involved were within their rights to void the payments altogether, but Michael felt like what they were doing wasn't right. And so he made it right. If it wasn't for Michael approaching ownership and demanding they pay Don his money, he would have never seen a cent of that $1 million.
That's crazy.
So it
Shout
turns
out Michael.
that even if it was for a brief moment, Don Calhoun was a part of the Bulls. Seeking nothing in return, Michael and the rest of the players looked out for Don. Oh, and that autograph Don wanted, a couple weeks later, he got that too. So what happens if someone actually makes one of those inconceivable $1 million shots? Well, one way or another, they get paid.
That's crazy. Anyways, make your like, subscribe, comment, ask you next. Doses.